Hey, welcome to day 6 of the 30-day yoga challenge. My name is Shane, for those of you who may not know. So today we're going to be working on our splits again. We worked on splits on day 1, and then we did 5 different themes for the first 5 days. So day 6 we're starting back at, hi buddy. Hi. We're starting back with splits, so get excited. We're going to be kicking it up a notch. So today we're going to be just holding different poses for a little longer. So we're really working on sinking into our poses while focusing on our breath so that we can advance a little deeper into the splits today. Again, this practice is made for you, so make of it as you wish, add to it what you want, subtract from it what you want. I always make the Shavasana very short and highly recommend that you make that for as long as you would like. I just didn't see a reason to waste space with me just laying there on the screen. And as always, provide your own music, as I didn't want to make a playlist and have someone completely hate it and not want to do the practice and not be able to hear my voice because they want to mute the film. So supply your own music, supply your own mat, supply yourself and your positive energy, and let's get started. Come to the top of your mat and inhale and bring the arms over the head. Exhale, forward fold. Pedal out the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step the feet back, lower through chaturanga. Inhale, roll forward into upward facing dog. Exhale, press back into the heels, downward facing dog. Stretch out the heels, pedal out the legs. Relax the shoulders. Inhale, sweep the right leg up. Exhale, bend at the knee. And complete 5 clockwise and 5 counterclockwise rotations at the hip. Listening to your body and connecting through that breath. Exhale, bring that right leg through the body and plant it in between the hands. Inhale, lift into low lunge. Exhale, drop down the left leg into runner's pose. Begin flowing through runner's pose in half pyramid, lifting the toes when you sink back, pressing the toes into the ground as you rock forward. Plant your hands on the ground and lift back off the left leg, coming into lizard pose. Option to stay right here. Option to use that right hand to press in the knee, allowing the toes to follow the direction of your knee. Option to take the right arm and hook it under that right knee, coming around the back. Take the left hand, wrapping it around the back to meet the other hand. Or option to stay right where you are. Drop the left leg down and reach for that back foot. Or stay right where you are. Both are fine. Option to twist and grab the foot with the right arm. Exhale, plant the hand, drop the leg. Press back into downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg. Exhale, drop down into pigeon pose. Option to fold forward here, or to simply place your forearms on the ground, or just keep your hands on your leg, focusing on keeping those hips square. Inhale, try and reach for that back foot. If you can grab it comfortably, slowly lower to the ground as you bring the foot with you. Exhale, release the foot. Bring that left leg around for cow face. Stacking thigh over thigh. If you have a block, feel free to place that between your knees if necessary. Exhale and fold forward just a little bit, applying a little bit of pressure on the legs for a deeper stretch. Inhale, use the hands for support. Lift up on the ground, rotating towards the back of your mat before twisting and coming down into the other side. The right leg should now be stacked on top of the left leg for cow face. Again, leaning the chest on the legs for a bit of pressure. Remembering your breath. Always listening to what your body needs. Squaring those hips. Exhale and find yourself back into downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, come into pigeon pose. Squaring those hips, option to forward fold. If you feel good here, feel free to grab that back foot for a deeper stretch. Making sure to keep the thigh rotated forward and not outwards. Playing with the foot positioning of the left leg. Challenging yourself each time you're on your mat to dig a little deeper into those poses to work your way into your splits. It's so important to utilize the breath in order to do this. Exhale and tuck that foot and send the left foot back into downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, bend at the knee. 5 clockwise and 5 counterclockwise, rotating the hip, sending that knee in big circles or small circles. And finally, exhaling, bringing that left foot all the way in between the hands. Inhaling into low lunge, arms overhead. Exhale, hands through heart, dropping that right leg onto the ground. Inhale, option to grab that back foot. Either way, focus on pressing deeper into that left thigh. Option to grab the foot with the left hand or the right arm before flowing through runner's lunge and half pyramid. Adjusting your legs and your feet to make the flow challenging as you're flowing and you're not holding these. So you want to try and dig a little deeper into the pose with each flow, holding it a little longer each time. Exhale, plant the hands on the floor with the left foot on the outside of the left hand. Lift into your lizard pose. Again, option to use that left hand to press on the knee, letting the toes follow the knee. Option to wrap the left hand behind the back under the left thigh. Taking the right arm, I'm connecting it. This requires balance and core strength, but I always encourage you to give it a shot. Exhale, come out of lizard pose. Find yourself into tabletop and run through some cat-cows while rotating that neck so that you're stretching out the neck, the spine, the wrists. Turn the wrists so that the hands are facing your body. You should feel a stretch up the forearms, through the wrists. Exhale, send the feet back in a downward facing dog. Inhale, walk the feet forward. We're coming down into our Garland Pose. So bring your feet hip width or wider apart. Inhale, bring the arms overhead. Exhale, sink down into your low squat, finding your balance, using the triceps or the elbows to press into the thighs. Option to open the arms wide, to reach around the ankles. Inhale into a wide-legged forward fold. We're inhaling for a halfway lift and exhaling for a forward fold. Each time trying to fall deeper. Option to interlace your fingers behind your back. Feel free to rock back and forth, trying to get that chest to your thighs. If your fingers were interlaced, exhale and bring those hands down for ragdoll. Option to grab the toes. Inhale and take the right arm and meet your left ankle, and take the left arm to the right ankle for a twist. Switch sides, inhaling deeper into the twist. When you're ready, come to the top of your mat. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. From here, we're going to flip our palms so they're facing the sky, and we're going to step on them with our feet. And when you find yourself here, play with this. If you need to, make sure you're bending as much as you need at your knees. And then you can just hold it there and slowly start to straighten the legs. If you're patient with yourself, give yourself time here. You will see progress. So it also helps to widen the legs if you need to, and see how that feels. So take a wider stance and just really play with stretching out that forward fold for a bit. From here, we're going to come down into a seated pose, and we're going to work our seated forward folds. So we're going to come into a wide-legged seated forward fold first. Again, making sure that the goal is not to touch the toes, but the goal is to get the stomach eventually to the floor. So we want to start by hinging at the hips, hinging forward, trying to bring the chest and the belly as close to the ground as we can, bending the knees if we have to. And then we want to start to reach for our toes. Slowly straighten out the legs. Inhaling for 4, holding, and then exhaling, trying to pull yourself a tiny, tiny bit deeper. Be patient with your body. Believe in yourself. If you have a partner, it helps. They can press gently on your back from like your lower back. But yeah, you can wrap around your heels, grab your big toes, get creative. If you have blocks, use them. If you have ropes that you can wrap around your feet and hold on to, use those. So now we're going to bring our feet together, and we're going to do the same thing, starting with our knees bent, like you can see here, and then slowly wiggling your way, much slower than what I did. Some of you will be able to do it naturally, some of you won't, and that's totally, totally okay. Our bodies are all different, and you have to be patient with wherever you're at, and be grateful for wherever you're at. And don't be afraid to stay here as long or as little as you would like. From here, we're going to bring our feet together and come into our butterfly pose. Pressing on our legs gently with our hands, using our elbows to apply pressure. It's important to open the hips and stretch the thighs when we're trying to get our splits. So the focus of today was trying to get into some challenging positions and to stay there for a bit longer, challenging our body to move a bit to the next level. If all you want to get out of these next 30 days are your splits, I think I implement hip openers and thigh stretches in all of them, but definitely repeat these a bunch. So now we're going to come onto our back and we're going to do a figure 4. So we're going to take our right foot and bring it over, or left foot and bring it over our right thigh, wrapping our hands around that right shin to apply pressure, pulling our legs as close to our bodies as we can. We're staying right where you're at. If splits aren't really your concern, then feel free to take this practice as lightly as you want it to be. Feel free to do something else today. Switch sides so that your right foot is now over your left thigh. Exhale, give yourself a hug, uncrossing your legs. Inhale, reach for those big toes, bring your legs out towards the edges of your mat, and rock back and forth for happy baby. Allowing those knees to rock all the way to the floor. Option to extend those legs before exhaling into reclining butterfly pose. So bring your feet into butterfly while you're on your back. You can apply a little pressure with your hands. You can pull your feet a little closer to your body. Inhale, bring those knees together. Exhale, back down into butterfly. Inhale, bring your legs together. Exhale, extend them out. Give them a little wiggle. Come into mountain pose. Inhale, bring the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step the feet back, lower through chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep the right leg up into the air. Exhale, bring it to the outside of the right hand into lizard, letting that leg drop or keeping it raised, optional. Exhale, send the leg back. Inhale, and then exhale into pigeon pose. So we're flowing through lizard with the option to keep that leg up or down, the back leg, and then we're flowing into pigeon. We're doing that 5 times on each side. Going through pigeon, lizard, wakening up the thighs, the glutes, the hips. And last one. Stay down in your pigeon pose on the last one. Exhale, option to forward fold. Inhale and bring that left leg around and stack your shins for log pose. From here, we're going to repeat log pose on the other side, so switch shins. From log pose, as we go to lift, we're quickly coming into our garland pose. So planting our feet, sinking up into our low squat, and then inhaling to standing before pressing down into our downward facing dog to repeat on the other side. Inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale into lizard. Inhale, send the leg back. Exhale into pigeon pose. We're doing 4 more, flowing at your breath and your pace. Listening to your body and whether it needs to be pushed today or if it's fine right where it's at. After your 5th rep, sink down into your pigeon pose. With the option to forward fold. Inhaling, lifting the chest. Exhaling, letting the chest fall towards the floor. Option to use a block or a pillow as a rest. Inhale, wrapping that right leg over the left shin for log. Exhale, try and forward fold here, reaching for the mat, trying to bring your heart to the floor. Exhale, switch sides, bringing that left shin over the right shin. Again, reaching your chest towards the mat. Before coming into your Garland squat, planting those feet, assisting yourself up, halfway lift, forward fold. Inhale, come into standing pose, and bring the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold, heel toeing the feet out, a little farther than hip width apart. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, turning the feet to face one edge of the mat so that your right leg is in front of your left leg. Exhale, bring the arms behind the back, hand to opposite elbow, shifting through the center, both feet facing the long edge of your mat, before switching to the other side. Focusing on your breath, bringing the feet back to face the long edge of your mat, release your arms down. We're coming into our side lunges. So spread the feet wide, sink down into your heel, flow back and forth through side lunge. Inhale, come a little higher up in that lunge. Inhale a little higher in your stance. Finally, we're going to do some squats. So bring your feet in a wide stance, and as you squat, you want your knees to follow the direction of your toes, focusing on pressing the hips out and opening up the hips, keeping the pelvis tucked as you sink, challenging yourself to keep the back straight and the hips wide. One more. Great job. From here, we're going to come down into frog pose. So first come into tabletop and then send your knees wide until you feel comfortable. Your legs should be at a 90-degree angle to the best of your ability. And you can start by, you can put a pillow under your hips, and you can put books under your forearms. You don't even have to go onto your forearms, but find yourself into what your body sees frog pose being today. And this is another one where you really actually need to sit here and give yourself time. You'll feel yourself slowly begin to widen. Your knees will slowly start to widen, and you'll sink a tiny bit lower into that pose. When you're ready, sink back into child's pose. And then we're going to come and work on our pigeon pose before practicing some splits. So when you're ready, come into your downward facing dog. We're going to inhale and bring that right leg forward, exhale into pigeon pose. Try and reach for that back leg either with your left or your right hand. If you have a rope or a t-shirt or something you can wrap around your foot and reach for that foot, that works too. Either way, we're just trying to get those hips squared, reach that foot as close as we can to a 90-degree angle, because eventually we want both of our legs to be able to be straight in a split. So that's the goal. Keeping those hips square, being able to reach that foot into a 90-degree angle, and maybe being able to reach back. So we're going to exhale and repeat that on the other side. So come into your pigeon pose. Again, if you have a rope, a t-shirt, a blanket, a scarf, anything that you can hook around your foot and hold on to. Practice folding forward in your pigeon, adjusting that foot, keeping the back thigh rotated inwards. We're going to exhale into our downward facing dog, and then we're going to go back into our runner's lunge and half pyramid flow. So when we dig deep into our runner's lunge, as you can see, the goal is to flatten that, be able to straighten that back leg completely, right? And then to slowly be able to crawl that right leg forward. So this is going to be a great flow to really help getting those motions down. If you find yourself practicing your splits now, you can have a block under your hips, you can have pillows, books, anything you want. But if you're coming all the way to the floor, you want to think about keeping both of those legs rotated inwards. It's okay if you're not all the way at the ground. It's okay if your legs are still bent. But listen to your body and be gentle with your body. After you've done this on the right leg, make sure to forward fold and wiggle the leg out. Before pressing in a downward facing dog, and then repeating the same thing on the left side. So starting in that runner lunge, half pyramid flow, slowly trying to walk the legs out a little farther from each other. Stacking books and pillows all along the legs if you want. Doesn't even have to just be under the hips. I know if there's like grass or sand around, doing it on like softer surfaces helps to just experiment. And then again, when you're done on your left side, forward fold. Before lying on your back and giving yourself a big hug. Rocking back and forth. Finding your legs on the left side, folding to the left side of your body with your head facing the right, arms extended out. Before inhaling and bringing them through your legs through the middle of your body to the right side of the mat. Letting those hips shift with your legs. And finally, come back into your reclining butterfly pose. Before bringing the knees together and extending those legs for Shavasana. Always welcoming you to lay here for as long or as little as you like. Relaxing the mind, the body, and the soul. Letting your thoughts come and go. Focusing on your breath. When you're ready, roll onto your side before finding yourself in a seated position. Thank you for joining day 6 of the Yoga Challenge. Tune in for more tomorrow. Don't forget to subscribe and follow my Instagram. I hope you have a wonderful day. Namaste.